Imagine working your entire life, only to find yourself broke, struggling, and thinking it's too late to start over. Imagine being told no over 1,000 times when all you needed was one yes. Would you keep going? This is the story of a man who refused to give up. A man who proved that age is just a number, failure is just a stepping stone, and persistence is the key to success. This is the story of Colonel Harland Sanders, the man behind KFC, whose recipe was rejected 1,009 times before it changed the world. Harland Sanders didn't have an easy life. He was born in 1890 in a small town in Indiana. His father died when he was just 6 years old, leaving his mother to take care of him and his siblings. To help the family survive, Sanders started cooking at a young age. He dropped out of school in the 7th grade and spent the next several decades working different jobs: farmhand, streetcar conductor, insurance salesman, and even a gas station owner. He struggled through failures, business collapses, and financial troubles. But through it all, one thing remained constant: his love for cooking. By his 40s, he was running a small roadside restaurant in Kentucky, serving travelers his signature fried chicken. People loved it. Word spread, and soon, he had a small but thriving business. But then, disaster struck. A new interstate highway was built, and it diverted traffic away from his restaurant. His business dried up, and he was forced to shut down. At the age of 65, when most people think about retiring, Sanders was left with nothing but his Social Security check of $105 a month. Most people would have given up. Most people would have accepted that life had beaten them. But not Sanders. He believed in his chicken recipe. He believed in its potential. And so, instead of giving up, he did something extraordinary. He packed up his pressure cooker and hit the road. With nothing but his car and a dream, he traveled across the country, going door to door, restaurant to restaurant, offering his recipe in exchange for a small share of the profit. And do you know what happened? He was rejected. Not once, not 10 times, not even 100 times. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times. Can you imagine that? Over 1,000 people told him no. Over 1,000 times. He could have walked away, convinced himself it wasn't meant to be. But he didn't, because he knew something. Most people forget success doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from pushing through it. And then, on his 1,010th try, someone finally said yes. That one yes changed everything. The first franchise was born, then another, then another. Soon, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC, became a nationwide sensation. That same man who had spent most of his life struggling, failing, and starting over, became one of the most recognized faces in business history. By the time he sold KFC, it had grown into a billion-dollar empire. And the best part, he didn't start building that empire until he was 65 years old. Think about that. How many times have you thought about giving up? How many times have you told yourself it's too late, that you've failed too much, that your dream is impossible? What if the only thing standing between you and success is just one more try? Colonel Sanders once said, "I made a resolve then that I was going to amount to something if I could, and no hours, nor amount of labor, nor amount of money would deter me from giving the best that there was in me." This isn't just his story. This is your story too. If you've been rejected, if you've failed, if life has knocked you down over and over again, that means you're on the right path. That means you're closer than ever to your breakthrough. But you'll never know how close you are unless you keep going. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. It doesn't matter how many people have told you no. Success is never about avoiding failure. It's about refusing to quit. If Colonel Sanders had given up on his 100th rejection, or his 500th, or even his 1,000th, the world would have never known KFC. So what dream of yours is waiting on the other side of persistence? The next time you feel like quitting, remember this. You might be on rejection number 1,009. But what if success is just one more try away? If this story inspired you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Keep pushing forward. Your success story is waiting.